Hello, and welcome to this lecture about plagiarism and other forms of academic misconduct. I am Elizabeth McBrien, instructional designer at Oregon State University. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to list 7 different kinds of academic misconduct and give some examples of plagiarism and also describe some attitudes about plagiarism. At Oregon State University, the definition of academic misconduct is any action that misrepresents a student or group's work, knowledge, or achievement, provides a potential or actual inequitable advantage, or compromises the integrity of the educational process. So on the Oregon State University academic misconduct page on the website, 7 different kinds of academic misconduct are outlined. We're going to talk the most about plagiarism, but I'm also going to go through just a quick definition of the other 6. So plagiarism, and these definitions are all quoted from the OSU academic misconduct page. So plagiarism is representing the words or ideas of another person or presenting someone else's words, data, expressed ideas, or artistry as one's own. Examples include, but are not limited to, presenting someone else's opinions and theories as one's own, using another person's work or words, including unpublished material, without appropriate source documentation or citation, working jointly on a project and then submitting it as one's own, etc. Cheating is unauthorized assistance or access to or use of unauthorized materials, information, tools, or study aids. So examples of this include unauthorized collaboration or copying on a test or assignment, using prohibited materials and texts, unapproved use of cell phones, internet, or other electronic devices. Falsification is fabrication, in other words, or invention of any information. So some examples are falsifying research, inventing or falsely altering data, citing fictitious references, falsely recording or reporting attendance, hours, or engagement in activities such as internships, externships, field experiences, clinical activities, etc. Assisting is any action that helps another engage in academic misconduct. Examples include, but are not limited to, providing materials or assistance without approval, altering someone's work, grades, or academic records, taking a test or doing an assignment for someone else, compelling acquisition, selling, bribing, paying, or accepting payment for academic work or assistance that contributes to academic misconduct, etc. Tampering is interfering with an instructor's evaluation of work by altering materials or documents, tampering with evaluation tools or other means of interfering. Multiple submissions of work is using or submitting work completed for another or a previous class or requirement without appropriate disclosure, citation, and instructor approval. And the last one, unauthorized recording and use, is recording and or dissemination of instructional content without the express permission of the instructors or an approved accommodation coordinated via disability access services. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at plagiarism, and one reason that plagiarism is maybe seen as such a serious topic is that it actually is derived from this word meaning kidnapping. So deeply seated in Western culture is this idea that plagiarism is theft and akin to kidnapping in a way. So from Merriam-Webster.com, to plagiarize and plagiarism comes from the Latin plagiarius, kidnapper. This word, derived from the Latin plaga, a net used by hunters to catch game, extended its meaning in Latin to include a person who stole the words rather than the children of another. And of course, this is a very archaic kind of definition, but there might still be an element to this in our culture that, influences how serious we see the idea of plagiarism. Okay, so other attitudes about plagiarism in particular are that plagiarism is a socially constructed concept that is not universally recognized. So it is true that in Amish culture, for example, as pointed out by Evering and Mormon, 2012, In Amish culture, students are taught to copy things verbatim when they're in school. And so these authors are calling for instructors in middle school, high school, and college to assume responsibility to teach these skills because there are really quite a lot of misconceptions about what plagiarism is and also, the punishment for it. So a lot of times something like copying an entire page or an entire essay and submitting that is punished the same as not citing something correctly. So there's a lot of confusion around, just degrees of seriousness and degrees of transgressions. Okay, so a final reflection. When plagiarism is viewed as in terms of betrayal and fear, it can cause a poisonous atmosphere between teachers and students that makes them adversaries instead of collaborators. How can we as instructors create an atmosphere of learning around the concept of plagiarism rather than fear? So we're kind of just remembering that the purpose of our teaching is education and not to try to catch people, doing something wrong, but really to help them learn these kinds of things and also to set an example and, cite things ourselves and teach them how to give credit to sources appropriately. All right, thank you very much. Bye.